Welcome to another Down the Rabbit Hole video. You can see Q Bert jumping around on some presents there in front of the Christmas tree. And that's directly related to my Christmas because finally, I got the Q Bert little arcade machine here from Basic Fun. This has been a real pain to try and get my hands on here in Canada. I think it was a Walmart exclusive in the US, and I've been to a couple of Walmarts down in the States, could not find him anywhere. And what was a little bit alarming is a good YouTuber that I follow a lot, Glen Planamento, I can't remember the right way to say his last name, put a link below to his video, but he mentioned that although this was quite a decent seller, the designers have decided to move away from what this has, which is like a backlit TFT screen, I think it is, or LCD screen, and move more to a passive LCD, kind of like the old school ways of doing, you know, those little Coleco tabletops. So I was thinking this is going to become a kind of a rare item, and I never managed to get my hands on it, at least not easily. Tried ordering it on eBay, and a couple of sellers were like, yep, we're sending it on its way. And then at the last minute, they told me, no, we can't ship to Canada for some bizarre reason. I don't understand it. Luckily, I had an Amazon gift card from a friend of mine. Thank you, Peter. And it was for $50, which ironically is how much this ended up costing me. That was what was holding me back. I know a lot of people have played with these things already, and there's a reason why I wanted to get the Q Bert one, and I always thought, yeah, well, when it's $20 in our local Walmarts, I'll pick it up. Never did, and it was starting to look like it was going to become a collector's item, so I just thought, all right, I've got this $50 gift card from my friend. I'm just going to take that money and buy this thing because I really, really want it. So I'm going to unbox it and show it off. I know everybody's done this, but since this was a Christmas gift, I thought I'd show it off. And also, as part of the same thing, they also have these cool little tiny arcades from, this also came from Amazon. I think it was Cracker Barrel was selling these for about $20. We don't have Cracker Barrel here in Canada, so again, I thought this is going to be another classic case of I can't get my hands on this thing. Oh well, that's our curse, I suppose. But another great YouTuber, Techmoan, did a little review of these things, and he pointed out some sellers that do ship to the UK, which is where he's located. And I thought, well, okay, I'll click on his Amazon link and see if any of them ship to Canada. Lo and behold, these guys did. So I'm very, very pleased that thanks to a couple of great YouTubers, I now have this Galaxian machine and this Q Bert. Now, why did I want to get Q Bert? Well, I've seen the others. Now, there's Pac-Man, Space Invaders, Ms. Pac-Man, a bunch of, now they've got Rampage and Joust out, all of which are pretty decent, but it's also worth noting, a couple of years ago, I got the iCade Junior, and I can just pop my iPod Touch in that thing, and I can play those games, no problem. It's got, like this, it's got this little joystick here, and it's got more buttons than just the one that comes on these little machines. So I always thought, well, why would I want to get those when I can just play them on my iCade Junior? Q Bert's kind of a special case, so I'm going to open them up in a second. Now again, everybody's done these unboxings, but I'll briefly show this thing off. A lot of people are very impressed with the packaging because you can see the side art there, which is really, really cool. One thing I was not aware of, nobody seemed to notice, is you can't see the packaging on this side. Like, it's just a window on the front and on the side here, so that's worth noting. Anyway, I'll open this up and we'll try it out. All right, to unbox this, let's move the Galaxian off to the side, and I'll do that after. I'm going to be very careful because I do like this packaging. I would like to keep this box so that when the novelty's worn off, I can at least keep them in this container. Oop. Pretty nice. This is a nice little unit here. Now, I think this is reusable. How do you take this thing off here? I'll talk about clever packaging. It took me a few minutes there, but basically they're these little propeller things you untwist on the back, but they are replaceable. You can just put them back on here when you're done. This little skirt comes off, and then we can actually see the unit itself. And there's even a nice Q Bert sort of collection of bricks back there as the back bit of artwork. This is nice. It's got a nice size, nice feel to it. Let's remove the demo mode. Well, actually, I'll show you demo mode first. So you could press this in the store. Check it out. Yeah, so that's demo mode. That's kind of cool. But now, if I pull this thing out, we'll actually be able to fully play the game. And this is where I can show you why I wanted to get this. As I say, Joust and Rampage and all the other games that are available, even Pac-Man, they all use the joystick the same way, the 4 cardinal directions, and that's sort of a standard of all arcade machines, except Q Bert. I hope it comes out on screen here, but Q Bert actually uses his 4 directions like an X shape. You don't push up, down, left, and right. You go upper left, down right, and up right. Well, that was the other way around, but you know what I mean. Like this control needs to go in the diagonal directions, not up, down, left, and right. And so Q Bert's kind of got a unique control scheme that makes an actual little dedicated machine like this worthwhile having. So let's turn it on, and we've got volume. Again, everybody's done a review of this thing already. It's awesome, but I just want to have a quick go here. My very first game on camera. Turn it on. Ooh, do you hold it on? There we go. And has the volume. There we go, that's the loudest. And I guess that's the start button. Not going to be very good on camera here, but let's at least give this a try. It's the NES version of Q Bert, they say. Oh, darn it, you got me. Yeah, this is really cool. I'm really pleased to say, okay, well, I'm not so pleased that I died, but I'm really pleased to say the control feels very good. Like, especially since you're using a weird controller here, this little thing in this X pattern. I was thinking, this isn't going to work very well, but it actually does. Except for they wouldn't really believe that from how terribly I'm doing here. Let's see if we can at least finish one level. Yes! So that worked out well. And finish. Perfect. Yeah, I'm very, very pleased with this. This is a nice little unit. So let's try out Galaxian. Now these tiny arcade machines are quite literally that. They are tiny, like very, very small. Here, I'll hold up that small Q Bert as an example. It dwarfs this thing. It's like, 1.5 times as big. So these tiny arcades, you'd almost think at this point you can't even do it, but they are playable apparently. If I hit that little button, there's the Galaxian game being played, so that's pretty cool. It's a little choppy, and that's just the demo mode. It's a little choppy and crunchy, like it doesn't run smoothly. At least Q Bert runs smoothly. So let's pop this guy open and try this one out. This one is actually a keychain, like you would hang it off your backpack or something, but I'm sure as heck not going to do that. Much like Q Bert, this one has some nice reusable packaging. You can just sort of slide the whole thing out of here, keep that for future use, and the front and the back just pop off. I think this also has, does this have a demo mode? Well, it's just on. I thought it had a little tab you pull, but I could be mistaken. Now, this is going to be almost impossible to do on screen. Again, now this one, why did I choose this over the Space Invaders and the Pac-Man and Ms. Pac-Man that exist? I just thought, well, I have a lot of Space Invaders type stuff already. I mean, I've played Space Invaders on my iCade Junior. Galaxian's just a little more interesting to play. And Pac-Man and Ms. Pac-Man, I watched footage. Again, I don't know if it's going to come out on when I try playing this, but the movement on the screen is just that little bit staticky and a little laggy almost. So I was thinking, well, Pac-Man very much is a game that requires your movement to be accurate and your timing is very, very close. Whereas a shooter like Galaxian or Space Invaders, it's not so critical. So that's why I went with this one. Let's turn it on. The other nice thing is the marquee lights up when you turn it on. There you go, check that out. So if I wanted to play, how do I do that? Here. I'm stuck in demo mode here. How do I start this guy up? All right, I had to look in the instructions, and I'm not even sure that this is true or clear, but because this thing is still like hanging on a peg in the store mode, it's in demo mode, I think what you have to do is actually turn it off, and then you turn it on again, and now it's really in the, oh yeah, okay, it's a different display now. So now it's in really playable mode. So let's try this out. This is going to be very hard to do both through a camera lens and on a very, very small screen. If you can see the demo mode, you see how the movement across is a bit chunky. They're like little trains moving across. It's very, very rough. So anyway, this is the, yeah. Okay, now we're really playing. Boy, this is tough. But it's actually pretty doable. Again, a lot of people have done reviews of this, so pardon my crummy camera work, but I was just very, very glad that I got this one. And I don't know that I would get any more. And there is apparently talk that you can bridge a contact inside these things, and it releases all 4 games, because basically what they did, the makers of these little tiny arcades put the same circuit board and the same controller and everything. Get the guy in the... Oh, darn it. Apparently they made the... everything is identical in all of these units except for the marquee and the outer stuff. And if you open the thing up and just bridge a little connector on the back and then give yourself a little way of selecting, you can actually cycle through all 4 games, Pac-Man, Ms. Pac-Man, Galaxian, and Space Invaders. I don't know that I'm going to bother with that. I think this is pretty cool as a novelty item, and it's just nice to see the display. It's quite playable. I'm very, very pleased. And again, it's tiny, tiny, tiny. Look at that. Look at the scale difference. That's them side by side. It's huge, the difference. So, yeah, I really like that. All right, well, that's what I got for Christmas. Finally. I mean, it's taken long enough for these things to be reachable by us in Canada, and I'm very, very happy. So I hope everybody else had a good Christmas, and until next time, we'll see you down the rabbit hole.